fashion has grown leaps and bounds. Indian fashion has reached abroad and it's very well appreciated and acknowledged. People are craving for more. There are few names, few pioneering designers who have made it possible. One of them is called Goddess of Oomph of Indian Fashion, also the member of PhD Chamber of Commerce. Yes, you guessed it right. I am talking about Rina Dhaka. Welcome Rina on our show.
Thank you so much.
We all will love to know that how your journey started and what inspired you to be a fashion designer.
It's so, looking back, it's 2 decades old. And my journey started as a young girl, exactly like any other girl today. And it was late 80s when I must have graduated from school, because we didn't have, I was studied in Punjab, so I did my graduation by correspondence. I took on a fashion course then at a polytechnic. That was all we had. And so I came on actually in the scene younger, which I didn't realize will become an advantage. And at that point, when you're so young, all you do is laugh, giggle, want to get dressed and have fun. And that's really what my life was, having fun. And I was very hyperactive, very imaginative. So this seemed to be a place which found its way for my career eventually. And from there I went on to do NIFT. I did other short courses in London and FIT, and I went on to work at Intercraft, then a very big export house. It really made me understand the hell and the horrors of hard work behind the scenes in the trade of clothing and fashion. And somehow it's like being in Hell's Kitchen, and I'm still there. There are great joys and great moments, but there's also great stress and tension always. There are always fires to be put out, and from then till now I'm still there.
So you are at the epitome of fashion industry for over 2 decades. How does it feel?
So I've seen the fashion in India come through. We only had the late Rohit Khosla, who was very helpful, a young hero of ours, to tell us about fashion, and he really helped me also. So from him we began to, there was Bombay and Delhi were one then. There was not such a big divide. And between Air India tickets, and that was Air India then, no, Indian Airlines tickets to Mumbai, or being on those planes every day, it was a good life. We lived from one fashion show to another, and that's all my goal and pursuit was. There was no concept of money, economics, trade, and the customers supported us. They followed wherever we went.
So how important it is to participate in the fashion weeks?
So when I, with a handful of few designers, founded FDCI, which is called the Fashion Designers Council of India, I had no idea that the samosa and the tea 6 o'clock collaborations of 5 to 6 designers will result in something so big. Today it's a very big enterprise. As you know, it attracts funding, it has great fashion shows, and it attracts buyers from all over the world, and it's very important for a designer to be a part of it. At that point we did not have a split between Delhi, Mumbai, so eventually Lakme, who was then our earlier partner, went on to stay on with Mumbai, and we have now got Amazon, another big conglomerate of the world, to be our partner.
Recently Amazon Fashion Week took place. So tell us something about that.
So this, as you know, we work 6 months ahead of a collection. So all these fashion weeks are showing lines which are for the next 6 months. So we were showing technically winter 2017.
every time with your new collection you come up with new concepts. So does it take long time to plan out those concepts?
That's what I said. It's like being in a Hell's Kitchen. So this is what keeps us there. The craft, the learning, the research, the newness, trying to evolve from your last season to your next season in a world full of so much talent. How do you keep inventing? Like the Lycra Churidar I invented in the 90s became common. Today all of you get to wear it. You get it off a cart, a ready, that. Now you can get a good one. So at some point I really only invented it because I was getting married myself, and I found the churidar was higher than me, and I used to make cat suits. So I just said, let me grow the leg, and it became the Lycra Churidar. And then similarly we have to keep inventing every now and then. That time there was not so many of us. Now there is a pool of talent. There are new things we're creating in the world at some point in somebody's atelier or studio, always. So in that humbug you try and make your own place. It is a lot of work.
How you balance between work and your home?
Let's just say there is no such thing as balance. I think it's an imbalance in life. I mean, when women tell me that they are working and they have that everything is perfect, I don't think so. I think there is pain in that for both you and your family members. You always have it. Like when you travel, your little children are left behind. They look for their mom. Then they grow up. They don't look for their mom because they found their way in the time you've been gone. And whether it's the work is always needing you. You don't want to sound unprofessional because your contemporaries are not going to give way to patience. For this should not be an excuse that, hell, I've got now rituals to perform at home, I've got puja, my kid is not well, the dog is ill, husband needs you. No. So if your customer needs a delivery and you're late, you have to find a way out of it. And then of course there is the marriage where the husband will of course have issues. Though I must say he was very supportive in my case.
Over the period of time, like we see the same Rina Dhaka, you look the same the way you were earlier. So what is the secret behind your beautiful skin and your youthfulness?
I don't have any beauty in me, but I just feel the less you fuss, the better you are. So I don't have so much time on hands, and I'm grateful for you for complimenting me. But when I look back at my pictures in my 20s, I look very different to what I am now. And I think what keeps me going is, I chant. I also believe that one must do it, some kind of meditation, and it has helped me immensely. Otherwise, it was very hard for me to work at the energy I was working at, and yet to have what you call the balance, the very important balance. Otherwise, you cannot be at peace. You cannot really work. If your home and hearth aren't happy or at peace or secure. So for all that, yes, I meditate, I chant every day. It really helps me.
Your dresses are popular with all age groups. So is it different in India and abroad?
I've seen my personal experience of dealing with Asian women, especially India and abroad. Yes, I've seen differences. In cities also. So in Mumbai, I find them wanting more. There are two cultures. One is a very conservative culture we work with, and the other is a very, very who will wear your experiments and be happy about it. So they're both the cultures. In Delhi, it's more of something somebody wore and looked great in, and they want to look a bit like that. Sometimes, it's a bit of a, I want to look like that. And in London, I found plus sizes like to wear fashion. I think that's very exciting. It's a very good city for me to use as an example, my customer, for my other customers, because there they are not afraid of, they want to wear the trends. They're not looking at their size. I find a lot of times in Delhi, people say this is only for someone very thin. It's not true. Something will look good on plus size will also look good on you. Just give it a try. So we were very reluctant to change. In London, I found them very good with that. And in Americas, the customers we got were very traditional, and in the Asian section. in Dubai, you get both, whether it's conservative and yet a non-conservative. You get a bit of both.
You are one of the favorite designers of publication houses. So what do you think? It's an advantage?
See, I'm telling you, today everything is set by everything which was something we did ourselves. Today has become an institute. So you have now what are called press relations, and you have PR people, then you have stylists, and they are all professionals, and they have demarcated that bridge, which is at one time we were very direct in contact with all the publications and fashion houses. Ring up the phone and the editor is your friend or is your contemporary, and you worked with them a lot over time. But today they're used to a whole, it's a world, it's a new world of teams, of talent, and it's being run by them today.
Okay, I agree. Could you please tell us about all the accolades you have received so far?
Wow. I don't know if accolades help in a life, but yes, sometimes I forget. I have a tree in my name, so I like to save paper that I like as my accolade. I also won the Miami Fashion Week as an Indian designer because they've never had an Indian before, 2004, and I'm not so into competitions, but yes, I did get that. Then I've got some Bharat Yuv Ratan Award. I also have the Delhi State Entrepreneur Award for women. And I've got a lot of these felicitations. I can't remember, these Women Achiever Award. And I'm off tomorrow, in fact, to FICCI because on the invitation of a Mrs. Day for in Assam to facilitate, to get an award myself and to facilitate other women.
Wow, that's very exciting. So how did it feel displaying your collection at Louvre, Paris?
The Louvre is beautiful. It's we never did it again, and the Elle Paris even magazine covered me, and was very nice also to have done Galeries Lafayette. I remember getting all the show windows because they did an India promotion, and Francis Baxiarg, he was an India lover and a Frenchman who has lived in India, and I think I'm so glad I did it because I spent a lot of time with him, and he really helped create craft and art in India.
Wow. And you were also bestseller at a Bollywood promotion at Selfridges.
Selfridges, yes. We had Mr. Bachchan win that year, the Man of the Year for the whole world, wherein he beat Marlon Brando, he beat Mahatma Gandhi, and he won Man of the Year. And so at the promotion of Selfridges in London, we had a press conference with all the British media, and of course everybody only talked to him, and it was really nice to be a part of that, and gala party. And the friend who was my friend, I've not really been in touch, a very, very important man in fashion and big visionary called Vittorio Radici. He was then the CEO of Selfridges, who helped put this together.
You have a lot of celebrities, you dress them up. So would you like to say something for that? How does it feel?
Well, I've been very lucky that these gorgeous, gorgeous women, from Aishwarya to Katrina to they were models. I would have never known them otherwise. And Deepika, who I was in school, she was in class 11th, and I remember sitting with her mother and her father and her younger sister, waiting for her to finish her shows so we could do a program together while she was a model. And later, of course, I've had the luck of working with her when she's an international superstar today. Most of these girls were are gorgeous, and today what is very nice is how easygoing they are. They know so much air and drama about them, and very easy to communicate with them because the industry, they've got used. There's no more that stardom which isolates them. truly, because there's the bridge between the stylists, the makeup teams, the hair teams. There are always people around them like us. So there is that communication which doesn't, because they get paralyzed with the mobs. So that frightens them, and I feel as a result of it, they sort of isolate themselves. And today they're a little more communicative, so it's much easier.
What is the big trend this season, and can you suggest something to all people out there for summer do's and don'ts?
Okay, so the big trend for summer is to wear color and long gowns, the maxis, as much as you can. And in Indian fashion, everything works. The contrast, everything works. Literally just take it as long as it's summer and you're wearing it differently. The dupatta, the no dupatta, the long kurta with the wide leg, the pant is so experimental in the trends. And the kurta also has got now these A-line puchars. I call them puchar to the master cheese. I say puchar laga do usse. So they understand it. Basically they are bias cut effects we give. Handkerchief cuts. Yeah. And they're not predictable. You can give a cowl to them. So even the men are wearing it now.
That's great. So which international celebrity you would like to dress up?
I was very lucky. I managed to dress up two very good, important women in fashion and in the world. One was Uma Thurman and the other was Naomi Campbell. I really enjoyed having known them at that point, and Naomi's been very kind, always remembers me, and if you contact her, we'll try to acknowledge that despite her schedules. Modern life, of course. I even sent a sari once to Madonna, but I don't have a picture of it, so I can't stake claim to it.
Tell us something about your latest collection.
The collection we showed in fall was called Dark Romanticism, and we tried to show decayed backgrounds, very treated with technique, to look old, to look used, whether they were superimposed stripes with charcoal-like colorations and dye effects. And then we had digital printing with three-dimensional flowers embroidered on it. And the silhouettes were very rectangular and layered. And for my high summer in Indian, we are trying a little bit of the off-shoulder edging, lot of lace, lot of pin tucks, detailing like that, yet very simple styling. So I'm trying, and there is of course the skirt, which is still a big trend.
In the near future, do we see more of your boutiques abroad?
I hope so, but the more important thing is to deliver. And what I would personally like to do is to go more into the craft belt of India and try to bring that work via, whether it's sites like Amazon or anywhere where we can push them for a bigger audience, whether anywhere on world will have them, frankly. But I want to bring my tendencies, my thoughts, my versions of fashion, and distribute it via well-distributed channels rather than try and be an entrepreneur myself. I'm happier being behind the scenes in terms of the kitchen part of it, of fashion. But yeah, I like the part of journeying into fashion.
You are inspiration of so many women. So would you like to give some message for our women?
Health, very important. Very important to be healthy and to be able to be, and to not to think we cannot do it. Whatever our circumstances, we can. And however hard it is, no work is low enough. And it's always good to have some financial liquidity, any which way, any amount.
That's a beautiful message. And in the end, I would like to say women like you is a treasure for India and fashion industry. So people out there, you better respect women. Thank you, Rina, for coming over on our show. Thank you so much.